Arc Siren. Will they even get rid of the DK, just in case?
Yeah, that's an interesting one to take out. I feel like it could have worked for Boom's part. Again, it also had its shortcomings there. For Neon's part, it's really open. That's the thing. They're kind of leaving the Grimstroke in, but we have seen Grimstroke with the Broodmother be really effective as well. So if you want to work that support too, it can go nicely. Instead, they prioritize the puck. Should be a Yupaj puck, so this is looking like a CTM Broodmother off. Works out well there. We tend to see, what is it? Arcanes into Mech, into Pipe and Guardian Greaves for Broodmothers nowadays anyway. So it's a utility offlane. Boom straight into the line to counterpick the puck. So you've got two puck counterpicks on Boom. Nyx in line for the control, but Neon build up on their mobility with Clockwork. So they can initiate from miles away with a hook, with the orb forward, with the Ice Blast. But Boom do take this comfort pick out for Mikado. They do take the TA, and you don't have the hardest lockdown here beyond Dream Coil. You don't have the best ways to tick through Refraction early on. And we have seen the TA against Brood. You Psyblades through all those Broodlings. It can give you a good gold injection, but at the same time, it's not much gold, and still worry about the Broodmother kind of giving you missed chances with her insatiable hunger.
Yeah. Let's see how it all pans out. Final ban-outs to come, and John, you've started some real problems with us, I'll tell you. Some people love real life John, some people want anime John back. It's... You've ruined it for us forever now that they know you have the capability to turn into anime whenever you so wish, so there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
I see it in the chat.
Yeah.
I don't know what's up with the internet as well. It looks like my connection to, I think, Hong Kong isn't working out too well.
No, it's smooth now.
You know,
it was the first.
It's Southeast Asian internet. It sometimes isn't smooth, sometimes is smooth, Mike. It's never consistent.
Yeah.
You have to admit, just like our teams are never consistent, sadly enough.
Well,
you know, like Neon, again, they've lost to Boom, they've won to Boom. They led us to an infinite loop for a while.
Here's the thing, though. SCA, in my opinion, in all honesty, is the most competitive region. I don't care what anyone says. Everyone's gonna, you're gonna have your EU supporters and all these other regions. SCA is by far the most competitive. There's no doubt. Anyone could win at any point. And then the matches are always close. It's always back-to-back kind of thing happening here. And I don't know. I just don't see another region that's quite as competitive when you look at every single team compared to SCA. Maybe you could argue... In fact, never mind. You can't argue. It is SCA.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. Like, all the teams are just so close to each other. It's always fun to see. Like, you have Motivated for us just crushing the lower div. So they should be in upper div. You have the upper div just constantly shifting around. We've seen Lilligan upset teams like TNC again. It's just one of the surprise losses for TNC as we saw in Season 1. So it's really tight. You see Boom closing out with a Wraith King here. Our Dreamo Cell hero shows its face. So they've got a pretty good way of staying alive in these fights. You don't have the best mana burn coming through from OB.Neon. You've got this really insane combo now of Wraith King Darkseer. That's actually really darn strong, especially if you go Radiance on Wraith King. So you've got Iron Shell burn, you've got Radiance burn, you've got the back wall to keep them stunned in. This was what I was looking for from OB.Neon, though. Lifestealer, you're talking about stuff with spell immunity coming through in lane. Lifestealer was left in, and we have seen this Lifestealer be really clutch. Not just offensively with the offensive infest on, say, a puck. The defensive infests are really the ones that change a fight. I think if you can hold off on using Infest and just use it to save a hero, come back out, regen up in that downtime, you can really turn a fight on its head. So it's a great way to close out for OB.Neon. I'm looking forward to what they do with this Brood from CTM.
Let's find out, John. Two very interesting drafts, but before we do go on, first of all, I'll bring up some odds because we do need to see what Loopbet's thinking here, and apparently, Neon are going to be the favorites going into this series, according to the betting odds. But John, I've got to ask you the hard question. Who does it look like the favorites to you based off the drafts for game number 1?
I'd still stick to Neon. I think picking up this Brood, really hard to play against. There are some answers from Boom, as you mentioned, like the Iron Shell could be one. Iron Shell out. Actually, if you Iron Shell a Spiderling, it's very hard to micro the individual one away. So you're likely to just bird through those little lings early on until the pipe's up. Maybe the pipe slows it down a bit, allows you enough time to micro. But I think the pacing here from OB.Neon's looking good. The one thing that Boom can really build off of is more in Mikato. I think the Wraith King's fine. It's not like this amazing hero. I think the key thing for their timings will be this TA. There's no natural refraction burners on the side of Neon. In the mid matchup, Puck versus TA, we have seen Mikado actually work that matchup quite nicely. It's one of his great heroes on mid, so he just needs to get that early start. He needs to see that quick Deso. We tend to see Dragonlance as well from these TA players, so Dragonlance, Deso coming through, and just go from there. Set the pace for your team, buy space out for the Wraith King, but the win conditions for OB.Neon are a lot smoother. They don't have to be so sensitive on their mid. They just need space bought out by the Brood. And once the Life Stealer hits a certain point, it's going to be really hard to melt through with the damage with the heroes you have on Boom. Like, they have some good control, but as long as you're quick enough on your Enrage, then if you can't find that Hex, if you can't find the Earth Spike or Impale, the Life Stealer is just going to be able to run around and do damage.
Absolutely. We'll go into it. Game number 1 between these two should be a very kind of lit matchup, I reckon. Boom Esports. Again, not quite the favorites in terms of betting odds, but you can never really underestimate the Makoto TA, is what I always say. And of course, I have very fond memories of Dreamer Soul's Wraith King. I believe he was the first one where we saw that unkillable Wraith King with the Aghanim Scepter Divine Rapier. I can specifically remember it was up against TNC in another Pro Series that we did. Oh, that was a real fun game, just watching the Wraith King never die. You just can't underestimate the hero, especially when Dreamer Soul's playing it. Makoto on the TA.
30 seconds and
they're specialists on these heroes. They know what they're doing.
Absolutely. Some of their best heroes. We've seen a lot of teams get thrown off by Ag's timing on Nyx. Neon's one of those teams. Motivate Trust were one of those teams that always found it hard to deal with an opposing Nyx with Ags. So that's something Boom can kind of put in their toolkit as well down the line. Maybe prioritize Hyde's farm to reach that big spike and put a damper on Neon's initiation.
Should be a 2-for-2 trade on the bounties.
international spirit lives in us all.
It's an even trade. Start off with the top lane, I suppose, here for Boom, as FBZ is going to be moving up there with Hyde. You do have Natsumi around as well, of course, on the Life Stealer, and Genuel on the Ancient Apparition. I think Natsumi maybe won't struggle too much up against the Darkseer lane here. You can get rid of the creeps quite fast with the Iron Shell, and of course Natsumi, he probably will go for some early points in Rage to try and really just kind of burst through the creep that does have that Iron Shell on it. With Januel right behind him on the AA, should have enough damage flying out though. A very nice Impale there from Hyde, and of course that's going to be one thing you've got to be wary of, is that Impale can kind of screw you over here if you are Neon. See how they do kind of deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, their wave is just going to be constantly shoved in as well. So Natsumi has to be a bit ready to just clear out these creeps under his tower. Has to be a bit ready to, you know, not expect too much from Johnny. There's only so much the A can do. You can harass out Hyde at the least, but you can't really stop FBZ from just spamming the shells early on. And you will have to watch how far forward you are. So it should be a bit more challenging for Natsumi, but not completely unplayable. It gives us a chance to look at the other lanes though as the trade hits. Down mid, of course, Yopaj on the Puck, up against Mikato in that signature TA. It is looking a lot nicer here for Mikato initially. 7-2 compared to our Puck at 3-0. Yopaj off to a much slower start, all out of tangos. So he has to hit that spike with the bottle soon, because if you get a couple of Psyblades off here, Mikado can really just look to jump in. Then again, at level 3, Yopaj's magic damage is pretty good as well.
Well, Yopaj, he's going to go in, silences out Makoto. It's going to be alright. Meanwhile, down at the bot lane is where the first blood occurs. Play hard. With the one to go down, Kezcube, he's able to pick it up on the line. It's another one of those double kind of stun duos here as mid lane Yopaj. As I look away, does go down. Makoto able to clean him up.
Yeah, it's just a smooth side blade out. Yopaj is sticking too close to his creep wave, gets punished. Good start here for Boom. 2 kills on the board. Nothing coming out from Neon just yet. And having this kind of start for Mikado it's what's going to set the pace. It's the fast Dragonlance into Desolator. You've seen it really hard to control TA once you hit that spike. So it's going to be a bit rough there for Neon if they don't manage to reel this in a bit. They need to start finding some wins in their side lanes. CTM is still finding farm, but you're not really putting a dent on a Wraith King, so it's an even farming lane bot.
I'm having a look at mid, sorry, John. Makoto is just kind of absolutely ruining your pass here with this TA. The side blade's just very, very hard to go into here, and look at this. Look at the damage output. Look at the angles Makoto's finding. My goodness, your pass can't even get close right now.
Yeah, and it's not set to get any easier. Mikado's got level advantage. He's going to hit level 5 real quick. So you've got level 3 refraction. So much harder to zone out. So much more damage to fly through. You can see his confidence. He's just trying to chase the Podge down to the bounty. He knows there's no orb, so he can try to get some hits in.
Play hard. Nice rotation out of the clockwork, but Cogs is off the mark. And Makoto claps to him. You know, John, that's one thing I really don't like about Clockwork, is if you're on the staircase like that, the cogs, even though it looks like they'll lock somebody in, they never do. The angle's really weird on that staircase.
Yeah, it throws you off. It's the verticality. I think the same thing happens for hooks from Pudge and from Clockwork as well.
Yeah.
The vertical aspect that just throws off the hitbox. He's still up top.
Yeah, FBZ going for a very deep dive. Hide. Trying to get the impel off on Natsumi, but isn't able to get much done with it. They are really just trying to focus on Genuol, because that's the one target they can slowly whittle away with this Iron Chillers. Look at Natsumi, right onto FBZ, and there goes your Darkseer. That's why OB.Neon want to go for the Lifestealer, because you can just kind of run down the Darkseer. He does have Surge on FBZ, but it's only at level 1. It's not really going to do too much. But now Natsumi going to have a very good time up at that top lane.
It gives him some much needed space to get some farm up. Lagging a bit behind when you compare it to Dream Assault's lane, where he's basically free farming. CTM on the Broodmurder is not as disruptive. He's not really applying that early kill potential onto the Wraith King. The missed chances are kind of funny to see from a Wraith King in his mid-crit animation, though. I have to admit, that's kind of weird.
Natsumi ends up going down. They do eventually get him. So you can't underestimate double Iron Shell, especially when the Rage is not available. It's now high. That's a nice impale out. Onto Genuel, and FBZ is going to try and cut him off, but he does get through the tree line. Even Play Hard now TPing in to try and go after Hyde or FBZ. They'll choose the Darkseer, but he is a bit too far away, it looks like. Surge will be enough to make sure that FBZ is able to get out of there safely. But he will lose the creep wave. He was pulling away, but that won't matter too much. It will be back anyway.
Yeah, a lot of commitment from Neon to try to repair that top lane. They're at that point where they can't afford to do so though. Like CTM's at level 5, so Broodmurder can hold a solo lane quite nicely. The issue is when you drag Playhard up here, Clockwork is a support that needs EXP, and so does an Ancient Apparition. These are not very selfless support duos here. And down mid, you're applying pressure on your Podge.
Nice silence out, but Keskut, he's running the right way. He gets the Hex off into the Earth Spike, and that'll be Makoto. Can just get to work. They will be able to kill off this mid-puck a second time already. To make matters worse, John, Makoto, he's going to find a deity rune.
Beautiful. Just so much more damage. Can potentially open up a bit of a push on mid if they want to commit. So they can look to shove in that tower, take an early objective. The supports aren't really set up for the defense. No Ice Blast up. It's still really early for those levels to come in. And it's just not very potent. Maybe if you get a good Dream Coil off, but that just allows Mikako to snipe out these stacks. And with the DD pop, all that farm's just going into a TA who's already very far ahead here.
And they're going to try and interrupt, but boom, they are all over it. Very hard for Neon to get back into that triangle and try to disrupt Makoto through those stacks. And of course, they were too late anyway. Been a very tough time for Yopaj in this mid lane, as now Makoto is going to pretty much out-level him by 2 levels. Level 8 to level 6. A very tough time. As top lane, FBZ going to try and run, play hard, does get the cogs off. Cold Feet's also going to be there, and now the Infest bomb from Natsumi. Just to jump out, get rid of the Darkseer, but they will lose play hard in the process. Did have to dive rather deep to be able to catch out the Darkseer. you should still be pretty satisfied with that trade, however, if you are OB.Neon.
Yeah, it's still worthwhile to give Natsumi some space. Unfortunately, he didn't get that kill credited to him. It actually went the way of John Yuel, which means that you're not getting as much gold. Still, every single kill is important. You are starting to get some movement out from CTM, though.
Yeah, you are. Dreamer's Soul, he's been chased down. He does not have Reincarnate either. But FBZ's going to show up. And yeah, that's one of the things, right? You Iron Shell the whole group by getting one of them. CTM can't split them up until they're all dead. That's a cheeky little play from FBZ's. He does it again now. And CTM, this is going to annoy CTM. It takes such a long time to find where the Iron Shelled Spider is. It's going to be another kind of thing to think about if you are the Broodmother.
It's already a bit of a slow start for CTM. It's not the most
don't drag them together.
Brood.
Don't drag them together again.
There you go. It's painful. It's not easy. Like the micro options for Dota 2, it's either you control all or you control one by one. There's no real way to stab around there.
Oh, nice coil out. They will snap it immediately onto the Darkseer. They go. FBZ. It's going to die another time. I was just talking about rough games for Yopaj, but FBZ's already died 3 times this game. And while he still will be able to deal with the Spiderlings this game, you're still going to want your own farm up if you are FBZ. So it's definitely a very poor start for him.
You kind of mentioned this in the draft as well, right? Like you saw Masaros have a good time from lane, and we were wondering if FBC could replicate that. It's a slower start here. He's trying to rush the pipe into Ag's build-up. So we'll see how long it takes to get that one done. They're going to have to prioritize their other heroes to farm first. They're playing mid, though.
Yeah. They know who to aim for. You go after your Page, you stop the tempo setter of the team. And Boom's doing a really good job just locking him down every time. Because now Makoto can just get to work on that tier 1 mid tower. Bot lane FBZ again going to be chased up. However, Hyde's there to help out. They might just get play hard. It looks like they will. That'll be the clockwork down, but FBZ, he has not been done being chased yet. There's now Hyde. No, they get the finger off in time. But Hyde, he'll probably die to the Ice Blast and does. So a 2-for-2 trade. You can kind of argue who it was more worth for. FBZ, he dies for the 4th time. CTM, he'll die for the 1st. And both position 4s also going down. Very even overall.
Yeah, it's a rather even game. Slight leads for Boom all around, though. 8-5, 2K lead up in their end. We've still got an unchecked TA. Tier 1 mid tower's already gone. So the map's very open for Makoto to just find farm, and Yopaj is very limited with his moveset. No initial items up on Puck. Just those 2 null talismans. No Witchblade up yet. So it's a lot slower, and you rely on this Puck to actually snowball you. You need the Puck and the Broodmother to work in conjunction to force lanes out, to force responses out. Right now, it's all down to CTM. CTM's just... he's the only one ahead. Yopaj is too far behind. He needs to take it slower and clear out some camps first.
Certainly does. Kodo still having such a great time now with the Dragonlance up. Can go straight into the Deso if he wants. And even just opt for a blink. I mean, why the hell not if you can pick it up this time quick? See what he does decide on as Natsumi is going to be around to try and protect that top tier 1 tower, but it's not going to be too easy of a task because Makoto can just hit it from a mile away. Bottom lane though, CTM, he does at least get the bottom tier 1. So you are effectively just trading if you do let it go, but they are going to try and defend. They'll TP more down, play hard, hook shot. Oh, that's a beautiful angle out on Makoto. Ice Blast, though, is going to fly in. Natsumi's still going to work. We'll be able to catch the TA. They do lose play hard, but it won't matter as they can keep trying to clean up his Hyde. Will try to run away on the Nyx Assassin. And slowly but surely, Natsumi will be able to catch him out. Meanwhile, FBZ does kill off Chen Yuel. He was just letting the lifesteal illusion chase, and in fact, they've even got the lifesteal on Natsumi. Does get caught, and they lost Makoto, but they might even find a 4th hero as Yopaj now. It's going to try and run. Nice phase shift there, but they have an Earth Spike, and they will get the kill. Boom Esports looking very nice indeed.
Yeah, they're playing really well around these spikes. They're getting their pushes off. They're playing as a team a lot tighter than Neon is right now. And it's a bit disjointed. They're just leaving CTM alone to do what he wants. That's great. Mikado does come in.
He clears out a lot of Spirelings, but he's lost his refraction, and the Ice Blast is going to land. CTM, where's your detection? They've got one. Sentry Ward is there by Genuel, and he will save the day. I suppose that's one person you can rely on the side of OB.Neon right now to make the space that Neon do need. It is going to be CTM who can just keep split pushing the bot lane. And obviously you can't really 1v1 the Broodmother at the moment. As Hookshot, play hard, is not going to land it. Hyde gets the Impale into the finger from Kescube, but now Yapage will try to turn this one around. The Hex is going to delay things, but he still gets the Coil Snap onto Hyde. They'll just keep the chase up and should eventually get the kill, but now Dreamer Cell's in. However, CTM going to show up on the Broodmama, but who's she going for? Onto the backside, they'll go after Kescube and the Lion. They'll get one as Yapage is out of there. And everyone else from OB.Neon does remove themselves as well. It does seem to be the Broodmother that is being the bane of the existence of Boom for now.
It's that spike for the Brood. Level 11 up. You've got the pipe incoming. That's going to protect your Spiderlings a lot more as well. And it's really good positioning from CTM. He cuts off the supports at the back. He actually managed to save Johnnyuel because Dreamcell wasn't comfortable with committing. But they don't lose their AA. They managed to just get away with one loss. That is still a slight lead for Boom. You're still ahead here on Mikado. The Desolator is coming out, so he's not rushing for that blink. Going for the standard build. He's going for the damage, making sure that the Spiderlings die once you have that up. Still has the DD bottled up as well, so they could look for an opportunity. Have to be careful because Neon's starting to eye some FBZ.
Oh, FBZ has already had such a tough game. And now he just turned into spiders by CTM. And I like the fact that the supports of Neon, they're just sticking around CTM right now. Like, they understand they can't play with Yapage at the moment. They understand that Natsumi just wants the farm, so they'll go to the offlaner. And they know the Broodmother's just so powerful at the moment. They can just keep picking people off that try to defend that bottom lane. And that's exactly what OB.Neon are doing to try and catch their way up in this game one.
Yep, they've really clawed at least CTM back up. This is a lot of space for both Natsumi and Yapage to just sit in these other lanes and get some safe farm. They can't fully commit for these gank opportunities because of the threat of losing their bot lane way too quick. So this is the right play with a Brood for OB.Neon. Now it's all about the response of Boom. Can they finally stop the Broodmother from being too disruptive? Can they still get punishment out? Can they match the farming pace? For now, they are holding on. Deso up on Mikado. He's going to be able to multi a lot of heroes with that DD as well.
Alright, play hard, gonna be spotted out. They'll go after the clockwork first. Earth Spike there, Mikado with the Deso will be able to remove him from this situation as Januel is gonna try and TP out, but the stun is there from Dreamer Cell. Double kill there from Mikado. Dream Coil from Yapage to try and secure this power rune, and he will be able to take it. Still understanding though, he can't really fight. He'll spend the time to keep farming up himself and trying to catch up, but oh, Kescube almost gets the Hex off. In fact, they'll still go. Impale on the mark, but did not land. Still Yapage now caught out by the Hex, but it's too late as play hard. He's going to go in with the clockwork hook shot. Onto FBZ. Cogs not going to land him in, however. Natsumi is going to keep moving forward as the Meld Strike is going to be enough to blow up play hard, and now Natsumi is going to be forced to infest and just try to get away with Yapage. While all this is happening, CTM, he does manage to take the bottom tier 2 tower. And boy, oh boy, this Broodmother is causing a lot of lag on my end. But they do get the tier 2. As Boom Esports, they will rush into the Roshan pit.
It's way too fast. Deso, the damage coming through is too quick.
Ooh, tried to fight it out. Aegis already gone. Dreamer Cell. In fact, it wasn't the Aegis on Dreamer Cell, it was the Reincarnation Life. Mikado took the Aegis himself. Oh, poor Genuel was still being chased down, and there's your finger out, Kescube. Playing no games of the Lion. It's Yapage, he's going in. Oh, I don't know about that. Dream Coil is there. They're going to lock them down. They'll go for the fight. Onto Kescute they go. They want the Lion Dead first. Back in onto FBZ. They might even find the Darks here. The vacuum will not be enough. And now a great hook shot in for Playhard with the Conks pushback onto Makoto. But Playhard's going to die for his trouble. They'll keep the chase up, however. If they get the TA, it's well and truly worth it. They'll get the first light. Back on a hide now. They'll try the Nyx Assassin. But he's a little bit tanky. Perhaps not tanky enough, though. Not for Natsumi. Natsumi now does not have rage up. He'll still just try and man fight this up against Dreamer Cell, who's willing to do it himself. Onto the life stealer, they will get the kill. Makoto gonna turn back onto Yopaj. They want the puck too, but CTM actually holding an arcane rune for him. He'll be able to orb out as they keep going. Kescute now with the Hex up. CTM, how do you help him out? The answer is you don't. He does go down, and Makoto, he even gets the cherry on top. He'll clean up all the spiderlings. This game has been quite back and forth, but Boom Esports are still well and truly in the lead. 3K lead, in fact, for this Radiant side. And well, Neon, you can just see that continuously just trying to catch up. CTM is really the only one that can fight, even up to this stage. Yopaj and Natsumi, they're not quite there yet.
Now, they need so much more time to farm. The Lifestealer especially takes quite a fair bit of time to hit its spikes. It feels like you need to hit your level 20 talent and then maybe opt for evasion. Force the enemy team to consider an MKB, especially once you have your Heaven's Halberd as well. The evasion will stack up. It feels like it's nearly unkillable, but it takes a lot of time to get there. Yopaj, he needs this blink desperately. He only has the Witchblade and 2 nulls. Not much progress since we last checked in. He's just always been targeted down by Boom, and Boom just understands. I think after those endless loops of tiebreakers, they've sort of learned from that devastating loss, and they understand what to do against Neon. So they're punishing this early start of Neon. They just need to make sure they don't give openings out to Neon now.
CTM, he's going to be spotted out. Nice impel there onto the high ground with the Earth Spike. They get all the spiderlings, and they will get the real big spider. Apparently Dreamer Soul will harvest the bones of the Brood Mama. Pretty sure spiders don't have bones, though.
No, they don't. They, I believe their rigidity is from something like hydraulic fluid. Think about
Wow.
like hydraulic fluid on their joints. It's just kind of pumped under pressure, their blood and viscera or whatever. Yeah, I
do you know
believe so.
that?
That's why they curl up. I just read it. Spiders curl up when they die because they lose the pressure. I don't know why I know this. I know a lot of useless stuff. But yeah, fun fact, fun fact. I mean, I feel like you should know that as an Australian, because you have so many dead spiders around that you'd want to kill.
I never said I didn't know it, John. I was just surprised that you knew. Of course I know that. I mean, I knew they didn't have bones at least. Yopaj, mid lane, gonna jump in. We'll try to go after Hyde, and they will get him. In fact, they'll find a cherry on top. Be Kescute gone. However, Dreamer Soul, he's gonna start another team fight on the side, but he has connected with the Ice Blast and will die with the first light. Buybacks are in though. Kescute, he's going to try and help out. Back on a Natsumi they go. Can they lock down the lifesteal long enough? It doesn't look like it. Natsumi is going to be able to run out as now Makoto has been Heaven's Halberded up by, I don't even know who it was by in fact, but he is set to fall and does. Genuel is going to die. Dreamer Soul still going for a bit of a chase. Might find CTM. And does. Now with the Hex up, they should be able to just take care of him, and they do. And by the way, John, to answer my previous question, it was Natsumi who has the Heaven's Halberd.
That's usually what you see there, just so you get extra value with the level 20 evasion talent. It stacks up, Yopaj. But
Very.
not worthwhile. Like, you kill off the TA, you lose a lot of heroes, you lose your Brood. Once a Brood starts falling behind a couple of these fights, it starts to fall flat. Now, you are very close to going into the Guardian Greaves timing, where you really feel tanky on this hero and you can keep your team alive. You still need a lot of time to get your Lifestealer and your puck up and running. Like, you can see the situation's pretty... It's bad enough that Yopaj has to opt for Aeon Disc first. He knows he's going to be chomped and fingered. He can't live through it. He has to have this combo breaker on. And that means his damage output's smaller, though.
Bottom. FBZ Be caught again on the darks here, and we've said it about a billion times this game, but he's having a very tough time. It won't matter too much though, as long as Dreamer Soul and Makoto keep up the good work. Speaking of, mid lane, Makoto now. Hold feet, not going to breeze him over, play hard, hook shot does land onto Hyde. They really want that TA and they will continue the chase. CTM right on top of Makoto, nobody around to help him out either. Who are they even chasing right now? Dreamer, so he was trying to go after Natsumi, but now he's going to be surrounded by CTM. Back wall is there. That'll be enough to force them back, it seems. Perhaps a bit of an error there, as it looks like Makoto may have been asking for help as he was just trying to run, but everybody kind of just forgot about the TA in that team fight.
Yeah, and it's a huge kill this time. Very worthwhile trading 1 for 2, and that allows them to make a move on to that mid tier 1, getting some space up, finally start to invade the jungle with all of these webs, making it hard for Boom to find that farm. They're still building up steadily on Boom though. Like, they have shifted the farm over to Dreamocell, which is good. It's around the 23-25 minute mark where you want the Raid King to be bigger than the TA. He is rushing into the AC, and that AC is going to cause issues, and this is the one thing with Life Sealer. Right, you've got a lot of added damage and slows with your Feast and Ghoul Frenzy, but Feast is physical damage. Like, the added damage is counted as physical. So as you build up armor on a strength hero, you counteract that additional damage that Life Stealer gets from your high strength by just blocking a lot of it with armor. So it's that weird back and forth for the Life Stealer. That's why it feels awkward in some fights. Sometimes it feels amazing once you have a Desolator. Once some more plate mails and plate mail items come true, it is a bit tougher. So I think OB.Neon needs to keep looking for these kills before that item's up, and while they're still relatively close. Just a 2k lead for Boom, not too big, very playable. Just need to shut down more of this map with the Broodmother.
Play hard, just kind of pump faking there with the haste rune, hoping somebody would kind of fall for the trap. Taj with the haste has the infested Natsumi. Now gonna spot out FBZ, but the coil's too late. Quick reactions there from FBZ to get himself out. Yeah, the gank attempt with that haste not gonna work out in their favor. Of course, in all that time Natsumi was not farming, Dreamer Soul was. They're probably gonna have to find out the hard way that he is about 100 gold off that AC now. And like you mentioned earlier, that is gonna cause some big issues.
It's gonna feel really awkward for Natsumi. His damage output won't feel great until he has his own AC up to counteract that armor aura. So it's about a waiting game now for OB.Neon. And that's not necessarily what you want to do with this lineup. You don't really want to take it slow when you have a Broodmother. You do want to keep a good fast pace. That AC is up and running now on the Raid King. And for Natsumi, it's a few parts off, maybe about 1,000 gold off or so. 2,300, so a bit more waiting time there. They do have to worry about just how much Boom's allowed to still control on the map. Normally with a Broodmother, we see the opposing jungle taken over. CTM's focusing on his top jungle. But they're not really eating space away from the enemy and providing more space for their other cores. He's eating space from his other cores and just kind of staying safe in his web. So it's not quite the farm distribution you want for the Brood, and Boom's can be able to abuse that if they don't really do anything to fix that Neon zone.
Best again. It's going to be onto Yopaj. Run into the Radiant Triangle, but they aren't there. Boom Esports are actually northwest of them, and Yopaj, he jumps in, they get rid of the line immediately. With that, they can go after FBZ on that Darkseid, but he does run around in circles, and now the wall's been dropped with the vacuum out, but it's not going to be enough. They also found FBZ onto another Hyde. He's been chased down by Spiderlings right now. He probably won't make it out. Impel's there. He will try to bide the time, but eventually they will be able to get him. Neon, they find themselves a successful team fight. The key was just get rid of the Lion first, and you don't really have to worry about the Hex and the stuns out that have been haunting Yopaj this whole game.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier for Yopaj to set up for his team. And the big bonus was as well was that they found the Darkseid relatively quick. Like, FBZ stalled out long enough to get his back wall, but you know, not being there to provide iron shells, not being there to use up the piping time, kind of hurt Boom and their durability. And Neon managed to keep this game even once more. Less than 1k lead for Boom. 25 to 22 at 27 minutes in. Next Roche still half a minute off. I think Neon's going to be eyeing that with very sharp eyes. They really want to take that Aegis Cheese and Ag Shard. And that Shard's going to be really nice for Natsumi. It gives him an active to play with beyond Rage. Because it feels like Lifestealer is like the new Raid King, right? You've got one active spell. It's not even target with Rage, and I guess Infest is maybe a bit more flexible. But Open Wounds would help you in controlling up the Raid King and controlling up the TA. And it would certainly help with Roshan as well. Does spawn up. The trap from Boom will watch that. Playhard can just keep spamming out these flares to ensure that they know, and CTM's already looking in anyway.
Both teams just kind of keeping tabs on that next Roshan. Is up. That second Roshan just so much more valuable these days with the cheese and shards on top of the Aegis. Looking out for that to be nerfed very soon. Second Roshan's a bit too powerful. Items popping up here. Boom. Still being very patient, but they are grouping up for a smoke, and there you go. Unfortunately for them, that rocket flare may have caught them out, or it may have been just a bit too late. There's going to be a counter smoke. Play hard, going to break the smoke of FBZ. Yopaj right in. It could be a massive dream coil, and they've got it. They've locked him in. Play hard, he might die immediately, but it won't matter because they got Kescute on the line. Still Natsumi now is going to be in a spot of danger, but so will FBZ as he is being chased down. Makoto will still try into Natsumi, but now with the Heaven's Halberd out, they will chase down Makoto. They will get the TA. Dreamer Cell is going to try and man fight this one out, but he cannot do it on his own. He will blink away. Instead, they'll go after Hyde, they'll get rid of the Nyx Assassin, and now they found the big one, but he's TP'd out. And suddenly, OB.Neon are looking like the stronger team. Even though their cores are much less farmed than the cores of Boom Esports, it just doesn't seem to matter.
They just find the angles. Like, they saw that opportunity with a smoke on smoke. They managed to win the fight, and because they won the fight, they go into the Roche. And they get that super strong second Roche. I always find second Roche the one you want to fight for. I'm like, when you play a game, when you see a team take the first Roche, I'm actually kind of happy they take the first Roche. Because that means, you know, you can just crack it, go for the second Roche instead. And that's what Neon does. The Ag Shard coming through. That's the open wounds for Natsumi, as we talked about. Cheese on Natsumi as well. They haven't been able to kill off the Lifestealer recently, especially with the AC up. With Aegis Cheese, I don't think you focus on Natsumi at all. You have to take care of that puck. Like, we need to see the same movement out from Kescute. Prioritize taking out that puck. Prevent Yopaj from getting off these big dream coils. Because if not, he's going to have all the control to hold you down and turn these fights on his heads. And you look at Yopaj's build here as well, Mike. He's not going for Ags. He's not going for any utility or anything highfalutin like that. He's just going Dagon. Just burst damage. Oh, Yopaj though.
Hey, I'm just gonna proc. He should be alright. He'll just blink out. Meanwhile, towards the north, another team fight breaking out as Playhard is gonna get bursted down, but now CTM wants to try and get some revenge. But his Spiderlings are gone. Makoto might keep going as CTM. He's gone a bit too far. They'll get the Earth Spike off, and Dreamer Cell meanwhile killing off Januel. But here comes Natsumi and Yopaj. They're here to back them up. FBZ trying to surge away, might barely get out. Natsumi, he's been surrounded. Buyback's around. He needs some help right here, right now. But no one's coming. Yopaj, not quite yet. They'll go back after Makoto. There's your coil out, but Makoto, he's going to BKB and run. Ice Blast. Does land onto FBZ, but he's going to be alright. I believe that was a 1-for-2 trade. 2 buybacks being committed on OB.Neon. 1 to be committed from Boom Esports. But the tier 1 top tower is still going to fall to OB.Neon, and they are still looking like the stronger team now, especially with a 6k net worth advantage.
Yeah, Natsumi is just nearly impossible to kill. They had 2 heroes just twacking away. He was isolated, surrounded by 4. They get the chain stunts off. It's still not enough. He still has Aegis, he still has Cheese. This lifestealer is becoming a bit of a problem, and it's not a problem I expected, but if you look at Natsumi, he's got 13 plus 25, 28 armor, so kind of makes sense as to why Mikado's just kind of tickling him. Despite having that Desolator up, he has nothing else to amp up his damage. You really need to focus on the softer targets, but Neon has been more disciplined now to have Yopaj jump in at the right time and kind of space himself out. The supports are throwing their bodies forward. Playhard and John Uel are the sacrifices. And now they've stalled long enough that CTM has his full Ags up. So there's the additional webs coming through. There's the faster speed on that Brood. It's going to be a lot harder to lock in CTM. And that just means you're going to have to watch every single lane. Once CTM settles in on one lane, the other lane's going to be taken over by the rest of OB.Neon. Limits the range of where Boom can do some farming.
Fair enough. Dream Assault. We got scanned out there for a second. You see the TPs are immediate. Play hard. Let's see how good you can hook shot, sir. Dust out. You want to do a blind? No, he won't. I would have landed with John if it was me, just so you know. Top lane, Makoto. You're going to be chased down now by CTM. Makoto does have some backup, but CTM does avoid the impale. Still Trap's going to give vision. Vacuum is there, and now he is almost certainly dead unless... No, they give him the finger. However, towards the south, looks like they have found Dream Assault. They'll get the first life in Natsumi. Do you want to try for the second? He's going to rage up with the Ice Blast to follow up. Dream Assault. He's locked in with the Dream Coil. He has no way out on Yopaj. Going to dig on him down. As now they'll keep going. Hide. No, he's going to back off surely as Makoto. Got to play hard with his new MKB, but there's your Heaven's Halberd out from Natsumi again. Play hard does die, but Natsumi, he's not done. In fact, yes he is. Rage TP. He'll get out. Towards the north, they are chasing down Yopaj, but he's going to be able to blink away. Hyde's going to keep trying. Yopaj is out of mana, but he does still have a phase shift. That's about all he has, though. He's going to pump the illusion rune, and we'll see what he can do. But the stun is out.
God.
They have the control. They'll get the kill. And there's your tip out from Januel.
He saw that. He saw that cheeky little player trying to juke with the illusion. That just immediately died. Very cute of Yopaj. Not quite paying off, but I like the guts to try it out there. And those are very big deaths from OB.Neon. Boom. Get to clear out tier 2. You get to look at the high ground. Now, the one blessing is that Natsumi does have Aegis, but he should have probably been here to die. Aegis is set to expire now. Any second it does go, so you don't even get to use that Aegis. Well, high ground just melts the Deso from Mikado, and you're going to lose a tier 3 at the least. Rack still stands, but that's not a good spot for OB.Neon. They didn't manage to use the Aegis to pierce the high ground. They didn't win that last fight. They've lost their lead. It's back to an even game. Less than 1k their way, 32-29.
Still looking for a pick-off here, see if they can find a straggler, but FBZ is going to be fine, and I guess Cute is right around FBZ, just in case. Dream Assault, he's been really struggling in these team fights, especially once the Ice Blast Dream calls out. He really can't do much. It's, you're definitely going to want to see that BKB, which he is aiming for now. Luckily for him, Yopaj, he's not going for the Ag, so the BKB is going to be more than enough to deal with the Dream Coil. Instead, by the way, Yopaj decided he wants an Ethereal Blade. And why the hell not?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's also like a disarm or, you know, corporeal form to save yourself or your ally from physical damage as well. So there's some utility for it. Obviously, the main thing is amping up your Dagon. I think that's what Yopaj is really looking for, just instant burst on hand. He'll probably need the Ags, though. If not by him farming it up himself, then by a lucky next Roche. Or lucky. And if it does come out with the Ags, then you're kind of set. You fix your bases. They do smoke up an OB.Neon, though. They want to keep that pressure up. Not quite having vision. It's a pretty blind smoke. No forward vision here, so they're going to have to try and see if they can find someone.
I'd had enough. He's calling lag. Everyone in this game is experiencing the same thing. I know it. It's this damn Broodmother. It's causing everyone to lag, including me. It's one of those, CTM can't complain. He's saying same lag. It's because of his damn hero that everyone's lagging.
Yeah, it is what it is. Dota 2 beta game. Still, smoke broke.
Dyer's bottom tower is
And
under
it did.
A mysterious
Oh, DD rune on Makoto. This could be massive if he could find somebody to target. Skewed. Well, they're going to spot out play hard. Not quite the target they really wanted, but they'll take it. Better than nothing.
Yep, it's not the kill you'd want, but it's an additional finger stack at least, so stick stacks up, 240 damage, so-and-so HP, a lot of HP coming out from line now at 1.9k. John, you all?
Oh, they'll find another. Nice little taking out of the, oh, Dream Assault, don't you dare do that, sir. It's the old dance in front of the dead body. Dream Assault dancing on the grave of Januel. Very unfortunate stuff here for our support AA as now they go onto the high ground. Glyph going to be popped immediately. Neon, they are still 2 heroes down without buyback, so this could be a very tough defense. It's Natsumi. He's going to start posturing around them. They got the range racks, and that's going to be about it. They aren't going to stick around too much longer as you do now have play hard back up. Let's back out and try to find a better moment to move their way back in.
They're really fixing this game up and Boom managing to clear up the high ground progression, going for the last outer tower here from the side of OB.Neon. Neon, for their part, kind of itching for something. Looks like they've still got a good reach on a Roche. They're hoping it's an early respawn isn't quite tier 2 fall, so it's at this point where they have to play high ground defense. They have to be really cautious about going out of that base. Boone has complete control of the map so far. They've got good wards to watch the movement of OB.Neon. You could use that for the rotation coming through. And there's not many sentries down compared to other Knicks games, so Hyde should be able to still slip around relatively unimpeded throughout the map.
Hyde's going to have a look around now with that Vendetta, but for Hyde, he is getting very close now to that Aghanim Scepter, just about 100 gold off. In fact, make it 10 gold off now. There you go, he's got it up. That Ag's going to make it infinitely harder for OB.Neon this game, I think. Even if you do lose Keskut on that Lion, you've got this borrowed Nyx Assassin that just has so many ways to lock you down if you're Yapage. Could be a very rough time for him. Especially because Yapage doesn't have a BKB of his own. He has decided, though, that he is going for the Ags over the Ethereal Blade now. So he's being a little bit responsible for the team.
Yeah, that's fair. Not spicy. Still fight. Maybe.
Perhaps.
Roche is up. Oh, it is the Ags on the Roche. So this is something OB.Neon has to get. Just so Yapage can go for the E-Blade. You gotta fight this one, Neon.
Not only that, but you don't want to really give the Ags over to Makoto, nor do you want to give it to the Wraith King. And there's just so many good targets here for Boom Esports with that Aghanim Scepter upgrade. We really don't want to allow them to have it as Yapage is going to blink in, and all they found, a Dream Call is out. They've got the Lion, but the Ghost Scepter going to save the day for now, but not for long. Keskut is dead, but he'll buy it back. Ice Blast is going to land on Dream Assault, but they'll lose play hard, and Neon looks like they want to try and back out of here. Yapage, he will orb away and blink out as Makoto. He's not done yet. He'll go after Januel. Meanwhile, Natsumi wants to start the Roshan, but it's not quite the right time, Mr. Natsumi. He's being slowed up. In fact, he'll go back in. Natsumi is Roshing. He is committing
That's
to this
brave.
Rosh. It is certainly brave, John. Makoto, gonna walk in, probably can't believe his eyes. Back off eventually. But it's a fake back, because they're going back in now. Maj really wrapping around the long way to try and get the high ground on that triangle. They found Keskut, but he's gonna blink out. The rest of Boom still hanging around that Roshan pit, making sure it cannot be sniped. CTM though gets caught out. They try to back him onto the cliff. They won't quite get there, but they might just get the kill anyway. And they do. Diapage is still having a look around for Kezcute, but Kezcute's in the tree line. He is safe.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
Now, boom, they could probably go and sneak the Roshan themselves. There's no Broodmother.
Yeah, they had to keep you back mid to take care of their racks, but it just falls anyway. So they lose everything on OB.Neon. The Ag is going to be given out now. Keen to see. Yeah, it's going to be on Dream. No, he hands it off. They want FBZ's Ags. Right, so they want the Iron Shell with HP rather than the Revive Life, because on paper, you shouldn't die. So, you know, if you don't want to die, Raid King Ags, probably not going to be helpful. Instead, plus 300 HP on the Iron Shell is really big. Mid-rack is already cleared. I mean, should just shift towards the top here. And OB.Neon, they drop very big there. Not getting the Roche, not being able to TP in time for the melee racks. Now your top is going to be pushed. Aegis Cheese on Dreamo Cell. I mean, Aegis on Kato Cheese and Dream Salt. I don't know if you have enough damage to really rip through these heroes.
It's going to be tough, Jonas. Especially considering the fact that you've lost 2 lanes of barracks already. OB.Neon, they've got 1 lane of barracks left before Megas are up. Obviously, you can see that. I mean, they're still very strong. But they're 10k behind now, and it's going to make it very hard to go into these fights. Kodo, he's such a glass cannon on this TA with that MKB up, and the Deso, and even the Swift Blink now. Makes it very challenging to try and get through this TA before he just kills your whole team. Tide, Impel is out. They have caught the Lifestealer into an Earth Spike. Hookshot though, play hard. He lands on all 3 with the hookshot, but is it gonna matter? Natsumi, he'll go after Dreamer's Soul. Meanwhile, Hyde is going to be surrounded by Spinelings and the Nullifier, but the back wall is down. They've got CTM controlled up, but Kodo will try to get rid of him, and he does. They squash the bug. Natsumi, though, still on Dreamer's Soul, but Dreamer's Soul, he'll eat the cheese. He'll keep trying to man fight. Play hard, he does come back in, but it looks like they're going to try and back out as the damage output is a little bit too high on the side of Boom. Yapage now. He was taking care of Kezcute. He'll try for the TP out. He'll be fine. His Aeon Disc does get procced. He does get himself out of there.
Down are just not finding an answer for that TA. They've got a lot of things to worry about in the middle of these fights. They kind of tried to hunt down the Sports first. The Lion and Nyx take priority. The issue is when Hyde burrows, that production is just way too big. Your burst is not quick enough to take care of the Nyx in a timely manner, and then kind of pivot the focus there.
They're going to try and delay this racks being taken. Try to buy time for CTM and play hard. What easier said than done though, as FBZ's in with the vac wall. He does connect on 2 and they blow up Januel. This level 5 Dagon doesn't feel like it's doing quite enough damage. Dreamersoul, he might lose his first life. And he will, as Makoto, he's just going for the mega creeps. He does not care. In fact, never mind. He'll hit Natsumi for a bit, but there you go. He's got the mega creeps up. And that's all they really wanted. It's definitely Boom Esports' game to lose now, as OB.Neon, they've got a very tough road ahead of them. Against Megas, it's always very, very difficult to try and come back, but we'll see what they can get done to try and make that happen. And there you go, John. He says, screw the Aghanim Scepter. He's bought the Ethereal Blade. On the puck, he's gone all the way. The classic SEA move here from Yapage. We'll see if it pays off for him.
Yeah, it's a very risky play, but maybe that burst gives him the big kills they need, so it has to pay off. You're up against Megas. Your Broodmother now is tapered off for sure. Like, the timing's just not quite there. You're going to have to find a way to recover solely on that puck and life steal.
Natsumi going to get started on Makoto. Makoto's going to be able to back, but ooh, nice. Not a nice hook shot. He got the neutral camp instead, and now the back wall is there. Play hard. He's gone. Natsumi trying to fight. Does get Hyde. That's about all he got so far. Yapage trying to control up the Kezcute Lion. attempts to back himself out, and now Makoto will make sure he does stay alive. Can they land the Hex? Earth Smite way off the mark. Aeon just going to be proc. Kesku still being chased down, does eventually get Dagon. Natsumi now back on a Dreamer Cell. They'd love to get the Raid King, but Dreamer Cell will turn back around onto CTM. Makoto's there as well. The Ethereal Blade going to save the day, but for how long? Dreamer Cell's not done with the chase. They'll get CTM, and now it's Natsumi and Yapage versus Makoto and Dreamer Cell. Pos 1s and 2s against each other, but Makoto right now is trying to map fight by himself. Dreamer Cell's back in. They found Yapage. Dreamer Cell is going to try and run as Natsumi. Will chase him down. Yapage is going to fight back. Dagon down the first life of Dreamer Cell. Can they get the second though without Natsumi dying? It doesn't look like it, but Natsumi, still man fighting, is going to be able to heal up. And the Ancient, the Ancient exploded. All right. Everyone forgot,
Neon.
including us, John. Nobody noticed.
They were on a wild goose chase. Wild goose chase for the kills, but we all know it's about that Ancient. They overstayed their welcome a bit. And Neon, they tried to go for another Neon-like draft. They go for the Brood Mother early on. They went for the Yapage Puck. They closed out with the Life Stealer. It looked like they had some answers early on, but as the game scaled on, TTM just couldn't do enough on the Brood to justify that pick. You weren't seeing the opposing jungle invaded. He was just sitting on their own jungle, which meant that the space for Natsumi was limited. The space for Yapage was limited. Made it hard for those heroes to get that gold injection. And boom, well, they managed to take that win over Neon. They've got the revenge. One game up. They just need one more game to stay in that upper bracket. We'll see if Neon can bounce back, change their strategy, and go back in with a fresh perspective and maybe not outplay themselves with a draft. Maybe start to look at a different way of flexing things around.
We'll find out. It should be roughly 10 to 15 minutes before that Game 2 draft does begin, and let's see if Boom can take it 2-0 or whether Neon can force it to a game number 3. Find out very soon.